Science explorers, are you ready? Come get ready. Science explorers, are you ready? Come get ready. Get all those materials that experiments we do are handy. Science explorers, are you ready? Come get ready.
Welcome, Science Explorers! You know what time is it? It's Sci Time! Are you ready to discover something tick-ticky today? Get yourselves ready because we will do something handy!
For this episode, we will learn about the changes in materials in the absence of oxygen.
At the end of this video, you will be able to investigate changes that happen in materials in the absence of oxygen, work collaboratively with your mates, and present observations in the class. Here are some guidelines for you to follow while conducting the experiment. 1. Avoid playing with the materials to be used in the experiment, especially the match or a lighter. 2. Participate in conducting the experiment. And lastly, observe proper behavior in class during the activity. Do you know how fire and oxygen work together? We will all together find out in this experiment called Fire Out! Here are the materials needed for this experiment: a big and a small jar, a candle, a timer, and a lighter. So we have here our small jar and a big jar. This time, we're going to light the first candle and cover it with a big jar. Prepare a timer to determine how long will it take before the fire will be put out. For the big jar, the fire was put out within 17.90 seconds. Now we have to light the second candle and cover it with the small jar. For the small jar, the fire was put out within 8.05 seconds. Now, Science Explorers, it is your time to do the experiment. Get those materials steady and get yourselves ready. Here are some guide questions for you to answer during and after conducting the experiment. What happened to the lighted candles without oxygen? Which jar showed changes faster? Both lighted candles were put out after it was covered with a small and big jar. Is there a difference between the flame's duration after being covered with a small and big jar? How will we know if each jar is running out of oxygen? Read and follow these procedures as you conduct the experiment. Wow, that was a job well done in conducting the experiment. What did you notice with the lighted candle as we cover it with a big and small jars? Yes, you are correct. The lighted candle in the small jar puts out quicker than the lighted candle that was covered with a big jar. Why do you think the lighted candle that was covered with a big jar puts out slower than the lighted candle covered with a small jar? Fantastic! You You got it right. The bigger the jar, the slower it is for the fire to be put out. The smaller the jar, the faster it is for the fire to be put out. This is because the number of oxygen particles inside the bigger jar is higher than the number of oxygen particles inside of the small jar. Therefore, we can conclude that when a fire gets exposed into too much oxygen, it will get bigger or continue to burn. Meanwhile, if the fire will be exposed into lesser or no oxygen at all, the fire will eventually put out on its own. What have you observed with a candle as you light it with a match or a lighter? Yes, you are right. The candle catches the fire quickly and it burns immediately. Did you know that this process is called combustion, also known as burning? This occurs when oxygen combines with another substance such as fuel and a match. It produces fire with heat and light and is always exothermic. That means it only produces and gives off heat. In combustion, oxygen, fuel, and a match and heat are always present in this phenomenon. Now, science explorers, to test your understanding, let us answer these questions all together. That was great! Indeed, you did learn something tick-ticky today. With that, let's wrap up our discussion. What is the relationship of fire and oxygen? Correct, that when a fire gets exposed into too much oxygen, it will get bigger or continue to burn. Meanwhile, if the fire will be exposed into lesser or no oxygen at all, the fire will eventually put out on its own. What occurs when oxygen combines with fuel and heat? Exactly, combustion occurs when oxygen combines with fuel and heat. Very good, everyone. With that, come and sing along with us.
If the fire was put out while it's flaming in, if the fire was put out, there's no bits of oxygen. Oxygen makes the fire goes on and on. Its absence makes the fire less strong. If oxygen is other substance such as fuel and a match, it produces so much heat with some light for a catch. This is called combustion with the flames getting strong. With oxygen we can keep the blazing on.
Wow! That was a great activity, everyone! You did a job well done! That is all for our lesson for today. See you in the next episode where we will explore more and know more as we dig into the world of science.